Hey, mama, if you're running on coffee, feeling foggy, exhausted, and already overwhelmed before the day even starts, you're not alone. So many moms are doing all the right things for their health and still feel tired, frustrated, and confused by all the noise out there. Hi, I'm Jerusha, holistic wellness coach, wife, and mom, and I've been there. I spent years in survival mode, relying on caffeine and willpower, wondering what was wrong with my body. Until God showed me something that changed everything. A woman's body isn't broken, it's beautifully designed to thrive. This is where we ditch the world's way of health, cut through the noise, and bust the myths that have kept women stuck and exhausted. Together, we'll uncover simple, life giving truths about women's health the way God designed it, so you can find clarity, hope, real energy, and confidence for motherhood and the calling God's placed on your life. If you're ready to rise into the health you were created for, you're in the right place. It all starts right now. There was a moment a few years ago when I realized something about weight loss that completely changed the way I looked at health. I had been working really hard to lose weight, and technically it worked. But the problem was that the only way I could keep the weight off was by being extremely strict with my diet. And I remember thinking to myself, there has to be a better way to do this. Because over time, life had changed. I was married, we were growing our family. I wasn't just cooking for myself anymore. I was cooking for a whole household with different needs. And the idea of maintaining that level of strictness forever just didn't feel realistic. So I started digging deeper into women's health and metabolism. And what I discovered absolutely surprised me because there are two major drivers of stubborn weight that I had never really considered before: cortisol and insulin. Now, at the time, I honestly didn't think either of those were a problem for me. But I kept researching anyway because I was desperate for change. And what I discovered completely changed my approach to health and weight loss. Because when I began addressing those two underlying obstacles, something really interesting happened. Not only did my body begin activating its natural fat burning ability again, but I also found something I wasn't expecting: food freedom. So, if you've ever felt stuck in your weight, frustrated with the scale, or like your body just isn't responding the way it used to, this episode is going to explain why. Over the next two episodes, we're going to talk about hormones that rarely get addressed in the weight loss industry, but make a massive difference. Not just for weight loss, but for your overall health as a woman. Today, we're going to start with the first one: cortisol, and why chronic stress might be one of the biggest hidden barriers to weight loss for so many moms. So let's start here. Most women believe weight loss is simply about discipline: eat less, exercise more, try harder. And when that approach stops working, we assume something must be wrong with us. Maybe our metabolism is broken. Maybe we just don't have enough willpower. Maybe this is just what happens after kids. But what I discovered during that season is that there was actually something much deeper happening inside the body. And one of the biggest drivers of stubborn weight gain for women, especially moms, is something most of us are living with every single day: stress. Not just emotional stress, but physiological stress. And the hormone that runs that stress response is called cortisol. Now, when we hear the word stress, we often think of big life events: loss, major illness, financial hardship. But for most moms, stress often looks a lot more ordinary: sleeping lightly because you're listening for kids in the night, waking up already tired, rushing through mornings trying to get everyone fed, dressed, and out the door, living off coffee because breakfast didn't happen, trying to work, manage the house, keep up with meals, laundry, activities, school schedules, and everything else life throws at you. Add in a couple sick kids, a bad night of sleep, a stressful week, and suddenly your body has been living in survival mode for months or maybe even years. And the crazy part is that most moms think that this is just normal life. but your body doesn't interpret it as normal. Your body interprets it as chronic stress. For moms, stress often isn't just what we're doing, it's everything we're thinking about. The grocery list, the appointments, the school emails, the laundry waiting in the dryer, remembering someone needs cupcakes tomorrow for class, trying to plan dinner while simultaneously wondering if you signed that permission slip. That mental load adds up, and your body responds to it. And when your body senses stress, it releases cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but it actually has a really important job. It helps you wake up in the morning, it gives you energy to deal with challenges, it helps your body respond quickly when something needs your attention. In short bursts, cortisol is incredibly helpful. But the problem comes when stress never really turns off. When life keeps pushing and pushing and pushing, cortisol stops acting like a helpful alarm system and it starts changing the way your entire metabolism works. Because when cortisol stays elevated for long periods of time, your body shifts from burning mode into protection mode. Instead of releasing stored energy, your body begins holding on to it. Instead of burning fat easily, it becomes much more cautious about letting it go. Not because your body is working against you, but because your body believes it needs to protect you. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed that during stressful seasons of life, your body seems to change almost overnight? Maybe sleep is off for a few weeks, the kids are sick, schedules are packed, you're grabbing quick meals between activities, and suddenly your body feels different. Your energy drops, cravings pick up, and somehow the weight seems to settle right around your midsection. That experience is actually incredibly common for women, and it's not random. There's a hormone behind it. It's cortisol. When cortisol rises, your body releases glucose into the bloodstream so you have quick energy to respond. But when that happens, another hormone steps in to manage that glucose, and that hormone is insulin. Insulin's job is to move sugar out of the bloodstream and store it for later use. And when insulin is elevated frequently, like during prolonged stress, the body becomes much more likely to store fat instead of burning it. And one of the places the body tends to store that energy most efficiently is around the abdomen. So when women notice belly weight increase during stressful seasons of life, their body isn't malfunctioning. It's responding to stress exactly the way it was designed to. There's another really important piece of this that most people never hear about. Cortisol doesn't just make your body store more fat, it can also suppress the hormones that help your body burn fat efficiently. Your body actually has several hormones that are designed to help regulate metabolism and support fat burning. Hormones like growth hormone and thyroid hormones help determine things like how efficiently your body burns stored fat, how much energy you have, and how well your metabolism functions. But when cortisol stays elevated for long periods of time, these hormones can start getting pushed to the sidelines. Your body shifts its priority away from fat burning and toward energy conservation. This is why women often say things like, it feels like my metabolism just slowed down. Because in many cases, it actually has. Not because your body is broken, but because your body is responding to stress. Stress doesn't just affect weight, it also drains the body of nutrients. And this explains something that so many moms experience but can't quite put into words, that feeling of being completely depleted. Your body burns through nutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, vitamin C, and zinc much faster during stress. These nutrients support energy production, hormone balance, nervous system regulation, and even your immune system. But when stress becomes constant, the body keeps pulling from those nutrient reserves. And eventually, those nutrients start running really low in your body. A helpful way to picture this is like the battery in your phone. If your phone is plugged into the charger overnight, it wakes up fully charged. But imagine using your phone all day while a bunch of heavy apps are running in the background. Video streaming, GPS, notifications constantly lighting up the screen. Even if you plug your phone in for a few minutes here and there, the battery still drains quickly because so much energy is being used behind the scenes. That's very similar to what happens in the body during chronic stress. Your body is constantly using energy in the background, and eventually you start to feel it: fatigue, brain fog, low patience, and a body that feels stuck. Stress also affects digestion. When the nervous system is in fight or flight mode, the body shifts blood flow away from digestion. Because from a survival standpoint, digestion isn't the priority, safety is. So stomach acid can drop, digestion slows down, and nutrient absorption can suffer, which means now your body is not only dealing with stress, it's also struggling to fully use the nutrients you're eating. When stress is already draining your nutrient reserves, you need everything your body eats to fuel you. But if you're eating good things and your digestive system can't even digest them well or fully, then you're creating a vicious cycle that keeps you stuck. Now, I want to talk about some healthy habits that actually become stressors when cortisol is regularly too high, because this is where many women unknowingly make things worse. Because when weight loss feels stuck, the natural instinct is to try even harder, exercise more, eat less, be stricter. But if your nervous system is already overwhelmed, those things can push cortisol even higher. Your body doesn't sort stress into neat categories: emotional stress, lack of sleep, overtraining, fasting, undereating. Your body simply recognizes pressure. And when the stress load gets too high, the body protects energy instead of releasing it. One helpful way to picture this is like your body has a stress bucket. Every demand on your body adds something to that bucket: lack of sleep, busy schedules, emotional stress, poor nutrition, illness, hormone changes, even intense exercise. When the bucket is fairly empty, your body can handle those stressors. But when the bucket is already full, adding more stress causes it to overflow. And when that happens, the body shifts deeper into survival mode, which again makes fat burning even more difficult. So sometimes as women, we think that the answer to our problems comes from things that would normally be healthy, like exercising more and even fasting. But when our bucket is too full, even those healthy stressors can cause our bucket to overflow and actually exacerbate our issues instead of helping them. When the bucket is fairly empty, your body can handle those stressors pretty well. In fact, things like exercise and even fasting can be beneficial in the right context. But when the bucket is already full, adding one more thing can make it overflow. And when that happens, your body shifts deeper into survival mode. So instead of asking, why isn't this healthy habit working for me? Sometimes the better question is this healthy habit actually too much for my body in this season? That was such an important shift for me because it helped me stop assuming that more discipline was always the answer. Sometimes the answer wasn't pushing harder. Sometimes the answer was supporting my body better. And I think that's a word so many moms need to hear. Because if you've been trying to lose weight by doing more, cutting out more, pushing harder, and staying stricter, and your body still feels stuck, you're not crazy and you're not lazy. Your body may simply be overwhelmed. So, before we talk about solutions, I want to pause here and say something I think a lot of women need to hear. Your body is not working against you, it's working for your survival. A stressed body will not release weight easily. And when the body finally feels safe, nourished, and supported, it often begins to heal in ways that surprise us. So, the goal is not to force your body to burn fat. The goal is to create an environment where your fat burning hormones can finally work again. And the good news is that lowering cortisol doesn't require overhauling your whole life overnight. It often starts with simple, realistic rhythms that help the body feel safe again. One of the first places to start is stabilizing blood sugar. When blood sugar spikes and crashes throughout the day, cortisol often rises to help compensate. This is why skipping meals, eating very little, or living off quick carbs can leave you feeling shaky, irritable, or exhausted. So instead, build meals around protein, healthy fats, and fiber, and that can make a huge difference. Don't worry about perfection. Just start building in more balance, more nourishment, more steady fuel so your body doesn't have to keep relying on stress hormones to get through the day. The second thing is choosing movement that supports your body. Exercise is good, movement is powerful, but the type and intensity of movement matters. If cortisol is already high, extremely intense workouts can sometimes leave women feeling more depleted instead of more energized. This is why things like walking, strength training, and gentler forms of movement are often so supportive. They help improve metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and energy without overwhelming the nervous system. This might mean that you choose workouts that are slower and gentler and more supporting, not just to building your body, but to reducing your stress levels overall. You need to actually get your body back into a stable environment before you can add healthy stressors in a way that's going to help your body and not harm it. That might be going for walks instead of running. It might mean doing some yoga instead of weightlifting. Think of things that you can do that are going to support your body, give yourself gentle movement, but is going to reduce stress and not increase it. Your body doesn't need punishment to get healthy, it needs support. The third thing is to replenish the nutrients stress drains. Remember how we talked about stress is draining your body of the crucial nutrients that it needs for other things like hormone production. Mineral rich foods matter here. Things like leafy greens, berries, eggs, nuts, seeds, fermented foods, quality proteins, and other nutrient dense foods help restore the reserves your body has been burning through. And often, when women begin nourishing more deeply, cravings start calming down, energy becomes more stable, and the body begins to feel less frantic. The fourth thing is protecting your sleep rhythm. Sleep is one of the most powerful regulators of cortisol. Now, as moms, let's be honest, that doesn't always mean perfect sleep. But even small changes can help because sleep and cortisol are deeply connected. Cortisol actually follows a natural daily rhythm in the body. In a healthy pattern, cortisol is highest in the morning to help you wake up and get moving. Then it gradually falls throughout the day. By nighttime, cortisol should be low so that your sleep hormone melatonin can rise and help you rest deeply. But when stress is high or sleep becomes disrupted, that entire rhythm can start getting thrown off. And this is where many moms begin feeling stuck in their energy and their weight. If cortisol stays elevated into the evening, it can make it harder to fall asleep. You might physically feel tired, but mentally wired. Your mind starts racing the moment you finally lay down. Or you get what some people call a second wind late at night. This happens because your nervous system is still in an alert state. Your body doesn't fully get the signal that it's safe to power down. And even if you do fall asleep, elevated cortisol can lead to lighter, more fragmented sleep. You might wake up multiple times or wake up around 2 or 3 in the morning with a busy mind. Sometimes this is related to blood sugar dropping overnight, which triggers cortisol to rise and help stabilize energy. So your body literally wakes you up to deal with what it perceives as a stress signal. Now, here's the other side of the cycle. Lack of sleep itself is a major stressor on the body. When you don't sleep well, cortisol often rises the next day to help you function. This can lead to more hunger, more cravings, less stable energy, and more irritability. And often a stronger tendency to store fat instead of burn it. Even one night of poor sleep can affect hunger hormones and increase cravings for quick energy foods. This is one of the reasons tired moms often reach for sugar, bread, or extra caffeine. It's not willpower, mama, it's biology. Your body is trying to cope with fatigue. Sleep is also one of the times when your body releases important recovery and fat burning hormones, including growth hormone. When sleep is disrupted, the release of these hormones can be reduced, which means recovery is slower, metabolism becomes less efficient, and fat burning can be impaired. So, when moms say they feel like their body just isn't responding the way it used to, sometimes sleep is the huge missing piece. Now, for moms, improving sleep doesn't always mean achieving perfect sleep. I mean, let's be honest, life is full, kids wake up, schedules are busy, but small rhythms can make a powerful difference. Getting sunlight earlier in the day helps you set your cortisol rhythm. Eating balanced meals can prevent nighttime blood sugar dips. Gentle movement during the day can support deeper sleep. And creating a simple wind down routine in the evening, like dimming lights, limiting screens, or taking a few quiet minutes to pray or breathe, helps signal safety to the nervous system. These small shifts help cortisol fall at night so your body can truly rest. And this is so important to breaking that cycle. So, if you've been feeling exhausted, craving sugar, or struggling to lose weight, sleep may be one of the most powerful places to start. Not because sleep is a magical fix, but because when sleep improves, cortisol begins to regulate. And when cortisol regulates, your fat burning hormones can begin working the way they were designed to. Your body starts shifting out of survival mode and back into balance. And that is where real healing begins. And finally, create small moments where your nervous system can slow down. This doesn't have to mean a spa day or a perfect morning routine. It can be much simpler than that. A short walk outside, getting sunlight in the morning, taking in a few deep breaths, finding time for prayer, even if it's during just those few minutes that you can steal away throughout the day, or sitting down while you drink your coffee in the morning. Maybe you'll actually be able to finish it while it's hot. A mom can dream, right? Also, laughing with your kids. Sometimes we get so caught up in the mundane parts of life and just rushing around and being busy and trying to take care of all the things that we get wrapped up in cycles of frustration and chaos and even stress with our own families. And sometimes taking a moment to say something silly or tickle each other, breaking away from the mundane will help you laugh with your kids and restore not only some joy in your home, but will also be deeply healing to your nervous system too. These little moments matter because they send signals to your body that say, you are safe. And when your body begins to feel safe again, the stress response starts to quiet down. Energy becomes more stable, hunger becomes more balanced, and the body becomes more willing to release stored weight. I know for me, I personally struggle with some of these. Sometimes life can get busy and I'm so tempted to just stop and take a few moments that I have to look at my phone. But that is providing a faux sense of relief for me. It's not actually helping anything. What I need to do is put my phone down and I need to step outside for 2, 3, 5 minutes at a time and actually breathe in some deep air. Take a moment to calm my nervous system, to realign myself, to put my face in the sunlight, and to regain some peace in little pockets of my day. So, if you've been feeling stuck in your health lately, I want you to hear this clearly. Your body is not broken, it's not failing you. Most of the time, it's doing exactly what it was designed to do in a stressful environment. It's protecting you. But when we begin supporting the body the way it was created to function, things start shifting in powerful ways. Energy improves, hormones begin to rebalance, hunger becomes more normal, and fat burning hormones begin working again, mama. But there's another hormone that plays a huge role in this process too, and that is insulin. Because while cortisol sets the stage for fat storage during stress, insulin often determines whether the body stores energy or burns it. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next episode. But today, I want to leave you with this. When we begin supporting the body the way it was created to function, things start shifting in powerful ways. Small steps really do matter. And with some consistency, you can build not only a better body, but better overall health, emotional resilience, and peace. Remember, Mama, your body isn't broken, and you were created for wellness. Mama, my prayer is that today's episode reminded you that your health matters to God and that caring for your body is part of living out who He created you to be. When we place our hope in Him and lean into His design for women's health, we don't just feel better. We stop guessing, stop striving, and begin moving forward with confidence and purpose. We're not chasing perfection here. We're learning how to live well with wisdom and grace in the bodies God gave us. And as you grow in that understanding, you grow in confidence to live in the fullness of who you were created to be. If this conversation left you feeling encouraged and supported in your health, I'd love for you to leave a rating and review. We're not talking about health the way the world does, and your voice helps build this mission of empowering women to steward their health with faith, confidence, and truth. Make sure you're subscribed so we can keep walking this journey together. You're not in this alone. And keep going, Mama. Every small step you take today is leading you toward the healthier, more vibrant life God created you for. I'm cheering you on.